So what are the things that you find interesting?
I like pretty much like went back from the beginning and I did everything. So yeah, it did work well. I just have only one question though. So on the override rate, I was able to do the calculation and everything. But when I entered the time and when I clicked on the details, it didn't show the calculation for it.
We'll see that.
Okay.
We'll see
Yeah,
that.
that was the only that I didn't see it, but other than that, I was able to see all the changes that I made, all the calculations I made, I was able to see it.
So you did override. Did you, okay, under the override calculation, did you see any ad tags or something?
Ad tag, I don't believe so. Well, there
So
was only
why,
yes, no, there was one tag, but there was no add or remove tag.
so why would it come under the background details? Why would it come?
Okay.
This is the background calculation which will override the particular rates.
Right. And when it goes to payroll, then they will be able to see it. So we cannot see it at all anywhere because
Mm-mm.
how do we check whether it's working?
So you, I think you did not do your homework. I told you one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to check, am I audible?
Mm-hmm.
So I told you that there is a button on the time card in order to see your override rate or what calculation happened, what tags are there. Did you go through that?
The print, right? The print one.
Yes, it stays you which calculation ran, what
Yeah, I
calculation
was
brought.
trying to click that, but somehow like I don't know what happened. Like the system was freezing up and I couldn't open it at all.
No, so yeah, okay. So the moment you click it, you go to the this notification button. All right, when you click on the notification button, automatically that
It
time
comes
card would
there.
generate.
Yeah. No, that part I was aware. Like that's why I was able to check it, but then it didn't allow because that was the last calculation I did, and the system was freezing up. So I thought,
Hmm.
either I can check with you today.
Hmm. Hmm. All right.
Because I was aware that you told me that if we can check in two places. One is under the details, the other one is under the print button.
Yeah. Only these two places where you can check.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We'll see later this class. Today we are going to talk about calculated fields and two important calculations. That is time calculation, time conditional calculation, and another one is time block create calculation. All right. So brace your seats, fasten your seat belts, and now let's start. We are going to do one of the most most used uh, I would say characteristics properties of Workday and most used calculation in Workday. One second. Okay. So now we got one scenario from the business that hey, I wanted some workers who are working uh, as a supervisor or helping the worker as a supervisor, or let's make it more simple. If my worker are working on Saturday or Sunday, all right, I should give them an extra amount, uh, whether I should be able to give them extra amount which is more than their base salary, all right, and that would not be the regular part. Okay, on Saturday if that worker worked, then it should be amount that is should be given, uh, which is let's say three times the salary. Okay, so what do you think what it would be doing? Like we are capturing a tag and then we are multiplying into three into regular earning. All right, that would be going to the payroll. Okay, there is one more scenario. This is one business case. There is one more business case that if my worker is working on Saturday or Sunday, the amount of hours he worked, okay, it should go into time in lieu balance. Do you know what is time in lieu?
Yeah, like instead of like you work on that day like a Friday, and no, for example, like you work on the weekends and then you can take like Friday off.
Yeah, so time in lieu balance. So here, Workday, we are going to interact Workday time tracking to Workday absence. Okay, okay, and one we on another one we interacted with Workday time tracking with Workday payroll. All right. So in order to accomplish these kind of conditions, so Workday gives us a very good liberty to configure that by creating our calculated field or the Workday direct fields. Okay, so these calculations are known as conditional calculation. So in order to configure that calculation, we just need to go to create time calculation first. Let's make one calculation for the weekend part. Okay. So the moment you click on a time block conditional calculation, it is based on certain conditions. Okay, whether and these conditions are uh, maybe these conditions are based on certain criteria, and these are always true false conditions. All right, conditions are always true false condition when it comes to time tracking criteria region. Yeah, and they give you a liberty to choose what would be your criteria. Sorry, what would be your criteria, whether it should be time block, whether it should be time shift, whether it should be time day, and whether it should be time week. The moment you see these blocks over here, you are always going to, if you are dealing with calculated fields, you have the liberty to whether to create the business object as time block, to use the business object as time block, time shift, time day, and time week. There is no such other business object for time tracking rather than these four. All right. So if you're dealing with if your business say that on a day basis you want to see, so you would choose the true false condition as time day. If your business say that, if your business, it is on the customer, it is on the consultant standpoint of view, how he or she wants the conditions to be configured. All right. As for this session, we are capturing is Saturday or Sunday. All right. If the work day is a Saturday or a Sunday, then we will be looking at the criteria time day. If we are looking at your shift, like if the worker shift is on Saturday, all right, then the amount of work the worker has done on Saturday on that shift would be taken care as premium, then we would consider as time shift. Okay, if the block generation, if the block quantity is more than 8, then it should, those hours should be pulled into premium kind of thing. Then we would take this as time block. Okay, if we are only if we take about the other conditions such as like time week, such as the if time exists for a week, all right, schedule hours week exist for a week, then also only if the worker has worked on what I was saying, Friday or Saturday, then the amount should be credited. Okay, now you have the liberty to choose from these, either these through, or you can choose from one from here and one from here, or one from here from one from here. You can add both of those areas, but they would be considered under and condition. Okay, or okay, are you getting my point?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So if you choose if you configure one condition over here and then another configuration over here, then it would be like this should be true and this should be true. Then only the calculation will run behind. If this won't run as this is true or this is true. No, they are never or. They are always and over here. Okay. For now, for a time being in our condition, let's see one Kevin's part.
Sorry, just one quick question though. So say for example, if users are just selecting, like the admin person is just doing one condition in the time block conditional. So for example, the time shift, they can always choose the shift differential, right? Like why do they
Mm.
have to come here and do the time shift?
Shift differential is always a range. Okay.
Right.
Shift differential is always a range. What if there is a lunch hour under that shift? What if there is a beginning in the lunch hour? So shift differential is always a period of time. You choose a period of time.
Okay.
Okay. But there are a lot of condition that you can make under the time shift. Okay, so they are both different things. Not you can if you want. It's a consultant's take how he or she wants to configure the changes. Okay, at the end of the day. All right, we shift differential is a different type of calculation where we are dealing with the time area, time range. Okay, but here there would be a different shift changes that the what if the end of the shift is on Saturday, then under shift differential you won't be able to configure that.
All right. Okay.
All right, for example, okay, Kevin. Now you cannot go ahead from here and add calculations. All right, like your calculated field, you don't see to create a calculated from here, from this region, as we see from reports that create calculated field or something. You don't have this liberty over here. Whatever condition you have created externally, you can map it over here. All right, so one second, just let me add the group over here, and let's create one calculated field based on time day. All right. This is the please always make sure that you provide a basic understandable kind of a time what I would say the naming convention when you're configuring the time card, or sorry, calculated field for time tracking. That is actually for the other consultants, they would it would be understandable. All right, Saturday or Sunday condition. So let's make more complex this condition, that if that is a Saturday or Sunday, if the worker has worked more than 5 hours that day, then we would give them we would give them uh, whatever they have worked would be stored under a different entity and that would be paid under a different rate. Okay, let's make that. Okay, so there will be a lot of calculated field which would be capturing, correct?
Mhm.
All right. So we are taking day as a reference. So we take time day as our business object. Then first thing, always these conditions are always are true false condition. But inside that, whatever you want to do, you can do it. So let's first add one thing like it's Saturday. This Sunday. They are calculated fields, all right. They are workday delivery fields. Always see the business objects whenever you are configuring. Now, how to capture how many hours they have worked on that particular day, how to capture those areas, all right. So what we would do, we would be summing up the quantity on that particular day, and in order to sum the quantity, the values are always stored under calculation tag, isn't it?
Mhm.
So we would use a sum related instance, and we will sum those. We would capture those hours from the regular hours, and we will compare. We will use it into a true false condition, that if those hours are exceeding some point of time, then only we would be able to get the tag under a time block conditional calculation. All right, SRI time day regular. So now we came to time day. Now, time day, what to reference on that time day? What to reference? What should a person should refer on that time day? Time day is blank. What to refer? What should we take as reference? We should be taking as reference the blocks on that day. All right, always the blocks. Blocks has quantity, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we would refer as time block for that day. Okay. So time, the moment you lift time blocks over there, the time blocks for the day. So what would happen? Time day would see the blocks on that day, and that blocks, if the quantity is exceeding from your tag, which is regular tag, more than 5, then automatically those values would be stored under a different quantity. All right, time block related business objects time block. So which means the next calculated field would be time block. एरर क्यों आ गया? ओहो. Sorry. Now we have configured our calculation. Okay.
Mhm.
0, 1, 0. And now see the calculation first. See the calculation. What the calculation is saying that if on that particular day, whether it is a Saturday or Sunday, and the hours are alright, 40 नहीं होना चाहिए था. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. If that hours on that particular day is greater than 4, then those hours would be stored under our bucket. Okay. So now see, whenever you are using, this is an important note when it comes to implementation. I didn't introduce it prior, but yeah, whenever you are using calculated field related to time day, time block, or any of the time sheet, it is highly recommended. It is recommended, okay, though it won't do a degrade anything, but yeah, when it comes to the migration of lot of stuffs, or when it comes to characterizing those stuffs, and when you don't want your calculations to be mixed match, or the calculation shouldn't work randomly, then always try to use the category, all right, as it is for only time day. All right, this is highly recommended. We do it when it comes to big implementations, big calculations. All right. As of now, I'm not doing, but yeah, when it comes to the big implementation, always try to use that. Generally, people do ignore this field. Okay, but yeah, Workday has given this field with some. They must have thought something to before giving this field additional information, categorized, and all those stuffs. But yeah, it is one of the things that comes into the picture whenever there is a large calculations are involved, and whenever you are migrating one source to another source, these things do matter. Now let's see our calculation has run or not by looking at Kevin Turner. Did you
Yeah,
see your tag?
right.
All right. If he hasn't worked more than 5 hours, 4 hours, है ना?
Yeah, 4 hours.
Then let's see if your tag is coming up or not. Nope. It isn't, because the condition did not satisfy.
Right.
That is the reason. All right, this is the time block conditional calculation. Okay, now let's make one more calculation. So you got the concept, what is calculated field and how this interacts. Okay, time
Mhm.
block conditional calculation are always very defensive, and they would always be stored with a particular tag under a particular bucket, but they won't be showcasing themselves. They won't be showcasing themselves on the time card over here. They are always inside under the calculated details. Okay. Now what I'm going to share you one a big thing, that you would be able to see a block generation whenever you're entering time or entering whatever you're entering over here under a block. Okay. So let's create one block. This calculation is known as create time calculation first, and the calculation type is known as time block create calculation. CF schedule hours day calculation. So the business came with a new concept that we are going to see how those workers who have not worked more, so those workers who have worked lesser than the scheduled hours for a day should know the flag on the time card as per the manager's standpoint of view. The manager should see on which day he hasn't worked more, on which day he has worked more than more than a half, or when I want to see the utilization of that person on that particular day. All right. So in that case, we always see, okay, how to identify those things. So the manager states that I want to see that flag on the time card. So when it comes to the flag, or when someone says that I want to see like that on the time card, then automatically your brain say that, okay, let's make time block create calculation.
Okay.
All right. So the moment it comes in your mind, okay, time block create calculation. So automatically a calculated field should be created. Okay, first on the based on the time days. Let's make it like that: the reported quantity and calculated quantity. All right. So reported quantity schedule, sorry, reported hours, reported hours, total reported hours for a day. Always see the time block. Total includes the hours, includes reported hours for the reported time blocks for the day, where the entry codes is an hours type. Time entry code it goes in and out also. So total reported hours for the day is less than schedule hours. Did you see?
Yeah. Schedule hours. Yeah.
So you got the condition. Now how many hours they have worked lesser? In order to identify that, we have two things. Either you should have a flag, you can One, you can create it as a quantity, as a flag value, like always 1122, whatever you want, or you can create a calculated field and add that thing. So I was thinking to create another calculated field based on time day, and it will share the number of hours which are left. For example, my scheduled hours for a day is 8. If I've reported 2, then it will share me the values like 8 minus 2, which would be 6 hours. I have worked less 6 hours. So let's make that arithmetic calculation. एक second. Now let's see the magic that will happen today.
Oh, so what did you, sorry, can you go back to the calculated field? I just missed it. Okay, you just put subtract. Okay. So these priorities are needs to be ordered, like.
Random, random, ordered in the sense when understand the concept. When one calculation is connected to another calculation, is dependent on another calculation, then you need to have an order. Okay.
Mhm.
Always make sure that when your one calculation is dependent on another calculation, that if time block condition calculation has worked, then my create block should execute. Then the order comes into the picture. You have to be precise on that. So now, sorry, I have worked 12 a.m. to 3 p.m. 3 a.m. So let's see, should we get a block generate or not? Ta-da!
Yeah, less
Karfi
hours.
less hours, 5 hours. I've worked less 5 hours. If I made it 9 hours, now let's see, we get it or not? Ta-da! The thing is gone.
Right.
All right.
Exactly.
Here the hours are not reported. Here's hours are not reported. That's why it is saying -8, -8, -8. The moment the hours would be reported, it would be subtracting those hours on a day basis. Okay. Total reported hours like I 12 and I have worked like 6. So what it is doing, the schedule hours is 8, but you have not worked on that particular day. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, ho, ho. -2.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Okay. So you got to see two of the calculation. I'm sending you the paper. Let's let's do it one thing more, and I'll send you the paper. And after that, we will cover the rest of the items, like small items. I'm
Can
going to
you
show you a
take back to the time calculation that you just created? I just want to see the tag, what you did with
the
that.
tag. The one of the beauty thing of about the tag is like that. The tag which I created, it is always here. Time
Okay,
blocker,
let's have it.
RP, less hours. Okay. You will start the test tomorrow.
Okay,
Tomorrow you'll start the test and you will give me the results by Wednesday. Okay. So your test would be ready. Tomorrow I'll give you the test to do. Till the time till tomorrow we will cover some of the important aspects and so that you are aware of the test. What is this?
okay,
Okay.
sure.
This is a time implementation test, which would be fair enough.
Okay,
Okay, so we saw these things. Okay, so two of the calculations, time block create and time block calculations. Okay, and let me give you one homework regarding that. Okay, if a worker, now let's if a worker has worked more than the 50%, okay,
okay,
more than 50% on the scheduled day, okay, more than 50%, then I should see a block on my time card as work efficient.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Again, remember, work 50%, 50%. Now you
Right.
have to use calculated. Okay.
Right.
If a worker, if now, if a worker is, one second, what should let's, hmm. Do you know custom domains and all those stuff?
Custom what? Custom?
Domains.
No.
Okay. Okay. Let's see if there is another anything over here. You see PM test tag.
Right.
Okay. Where
Okay.
Amanda, you're dealing with Amanda, na? Let me give you.
Yes.
Hmm.
So that's a custom field, you mean, right? Like creating a custom field?
That is a custom work tag. Kevin has custom book tags. So you just need to create one calculation. Okay, that is a time block condition calculation. This is a homework. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. See that this is going to help you on the. You will need a count related instance kind of stuff. So under the time type work type, okay, which means regular hours are we are entering. Okay.
Okay.
If that worker has used PM ERP tag, okay, work tag as PM ERP tag, okay, reported tag,
Okay.
and those hours are more than 4, okay, then the entire value is stored under a different quantity.
Okay.
Again, regular hours, and if the tag is MERP tag, okay,
Yeah.
and the hours are more than 4,
Mm-hmm.
then it should be stored under a different tag. Okay,
Okay.
would you be able to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Two homework, which is good. This is going to help you a lot. This is going to really help you a lot. These two are simple, but yeah, would be
Okay.
good.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Let's make one thing. Now in Workday time tracking, when we need to enter validations, when we need to enter custom errors, Workday is very good. Workday is very, I would say very, very sweet. The only thing to you have the liberty to create custom validation through the custom validation task under the BP, all right, under the initiation step or the action step. But in Workday is actually a king. So Workday has their own validation section. So the section is known as maintain time entry validation.
Okay.
The more time you see the mentor time entry validations, you click on there and you see a lot of things coming up over here. All right, these are the validations that has been created. There are two type of validation. One is red alert validation and one is soft alert. That is only yellow validation. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
one second, one second. So whenever there is a hard stop error, you need to see the critical validation, and whenever there is a yellow validation, then it would be this validation, what I would say, the warning validation. Okay, so you see that a lot of validation has been created, but now let's create our validation. For example, if I want my worker, if they're entering more than 12 hours for a day, then I shouldn't allow them to enter those hours. Okay, automatically an error should pop up. This is a simple one. We'll go to the advanced one during your test, but yeah, I'll start with the simple one and then we'll go into the advanced section. Yeah. All right. So this would be this would be eligible for those workers who are using this time entry template, US in out, US, California. If the reported hours for total reported hours for a day is greater than 12, then it should flag an error. All right. So I have configured the error. Now let's configure the message. Okay. You go to the related action, you go to the validation, you see configure validation message. So I would ask worker, I'll add it the worker. Always see the business object, which business object you want to use. Okay. Audible na now?
Yeah, yeah, now it's audible.
Okay, my validation is done. Okay.
Leave the office.
All right. Now let's enter the time for this guy. Oh, greater than 12. Sorry. Okay, greater than 12.
Yeah, you enter 11. Yeah.
Error. We got an error.
Yeah.
Kevin Turner, please do not work. Leave the office.
Yeah.
So he will revise the time entry. He is not allowed to enter that. Okay. Now let's make one another validation that you want to add a comment. If the worker hasn't added a comment, then he shouldn't allowed to be submitting that time. Okay.
Okay.
It comes. Some of the project tasks when you don't add the comment, the workday won't allow you to submit the time. Let's create another validation, maintain time entry validation. Okay. Okay, we have added hours, and now let's see. We got an error. Comment please, because the comment was empty.
Yeah. Okay.
The moment you will add the comment, it will vanish. Okay. So this
Mhm.
is one time entry validation. Okay. So tomorrow we are going to, so today, so far we are 80% covered, but tomorrow we are going to first analyze, review the overall time tracking, the new features, what are the things,
Mhm.
time clock events. I'll go to try to share you about time clock events. Okay. Let's proxy one second. Let's proxy. Do we have a time clock event or not? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is called check-in, check-out. This is known as time clock events. Tomorrow we are going to cover this part, okay? So that you're aware how things are working. Okay? Perfect. All right, take care.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.